Hello guys, it's been 1 year for Build Myanmar Community, and today we're gonna talk to James, a founder of Build Myanmar, about the future vision and about what it took him to develop such a great project. Hello James.
Hi.
Yeah, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
Okay, great. So it's been almost a year. Please tell me, what exactly happened in this year? What changed?
Well, nice to see you again. It's been some time. We remember the time we did the interview 1 year ago. I just had a vision and I just had some ideas about like where I want to take this, like the brand name Build Myanmar too, right? As first, like I told you, like there's an education and innovation problem. Like I said in the first interview, like Ray Dalio said, there's 8 powers that makes a country, right? Education and innovation sits at the bottom. So I'm like, okay, I cannot go and influence the other big powers, the trade, whatever it is, the government, whatever. I cannot do any of those, but I can kind of try to influence education and innovation, right? So when I thought about education, like what kind of education could I like influence on? And I started hosting events, just like literally physical events in Yangon. 10 people came by, 20 people came by, but it was really, on that day, it's really vibrant, right? And then I started doing podcasts. The podcast literally caught on fire. The first 2 months, there was like 10 subscribers, including my mom, my sister. But after a few months, it grew to like 10K, 20K. And right now we're almost like literally at almost 50K, right? Yeah, it has been amazing. Like our community has been like just growing in a really vibrant way. I really never thought like I would one day be a YouTube creator, Like I always like go and look at YouTube videos. They got like 50K, 40K. Never once in my life I thought that I would get those subscribers at all,
Mm-hmm.
It was never in my plan. But I'm really just grateful for like the amount of impact that we have done here.
Okay, so 1 year ago, when we were sitting in this exact place, what were you thinking is going to happen to Build Myanmar a year ago? I mean, a year after. And did you expect these changes? And did you expect this progress?
Well, definitely not. But it was just fun, like it was just fun. Like I just wanted to do this. I just wanted to do this in my, like, because I was already talking with my friends in my free time. So I thought like, okay, like why not just broadcast it and see if the young people from Myanmar likes it, like because I'm talking about technology, I'm talking about education, I'm talking about self-development, and turns out those people really like it, right? Young people in Myanmar really resonated with that. And to answer your question, no, I thought I would have like 50 followers, but right now on TikTok, we got 110,000 followers, Facebook, 180,000, 180K, YouTube, 50K, like it's more or less, and we have been going in every aspect, right? So this is beyond my dreams.
Mm-hmm. That's outstanding progress. Absolutely crazy. So what do you think were the most significant achievements during this year?
Oh, that's a really good question, honestly. It's kind of hard to like say one specific thing, but okay, let me give you an anecdote. So we host this like physical community events, right? And the last event, one of the girl, she said like she came from all the way from the opposite side of the country. Literally the opposite side. They came here, they stayed there for 1 day, and they came to the event, and we asked her, is it worth it? Like, is it worth it your time? You came all the way here. She's like, absolutely, This is the first time I've been around like-minded people. In her hometown, like, she felt always alone, And she found this podcast, she found this community, virtual community. And when she heard about, like, we're going to host a physical event, she's like, she got to go, She, like, literally all the way. A young woman, she's probably, like, 20, 21, 22, just came all the way. So, like, and then when I saw that, I'm like, that's the ultimate user feedback, Like that means like the people really love this stuff. So I would say that the significant milestone.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and how many people were attending your first event, and how many people are attending right now?
Man, that's first event, including my family members, probably will be like 10, 12, But right now we got at least like 40 plus, 40, 50 plus, and only because like we wanted to keep it small, wanted to be very impactful. Because like we're it's not just an event, it's also a skill workshop. We teach some like valuable skills. We do like workshop, we do case studies on the spot, for like 3-4 hours. It's fine by design that we just keep it the registration at 40 people caps. But yeah, it's been like 40, 50 plus. But we want to like replicate it across many cities, but not just in the main city, because like we don't have enough manpower yet. But we want to replicate it across many cities. But I will talk about that more in the upcoming question. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about challenges and concerns that you've had on Build Myanmar.
Yeah.
So what do you think were the hardest aspects of this project?
The hardest projects would have to be changing people's minds, And Myanmar is such a traditional country, and it's a traditional, beautiful country. But the culture has also become very, very traditional as well, and sometimes people are just very, very relentless against change. They don't want to hear new perspective. They don't want to embrace new technology. They don't want to like see new things, right? And whenever they see those new things, what they do is like they attack, so we've been attacked so many times, virtually, of course. But the amount of positive feedback that we have gotten is so much that it overcomes those, right? And then like organizing physical events, man, every physical event is so tiring, like just you have to organize 40 people, you have to organize the partners, and then like the workflow of this. I'm so lucky that I have such an amazing team, because like, I'm all the way here in America. All I can do is like just like message and like do this, do that, whatever. But they're on the ground just doing everything. And then the challenges would be like coordinating the physical events. I would say like that.
Okay, you mentioned that changing the people's mind are one of the hardest aspects. So what is your strategy on how to deal with it? Do you have a plan?
I've learned that first you gotta step in their shoes. Like people don't change their mind because like they think that like, oh, there's another guy from another country or white guy or whatever. He's gonna teach me, like he doesn't understand my place. Like he hasn't been here. Like he don't know what I'm feeling. So like they don't want to listen because like they think that the other side doesn't understand them, right? I don't really get their case, So like our strategy was basically, I went through public school. I grew up in Myanmar. I want to share about what I've learned. We like me and my other co-hosts, the guests I like invite on. I just asked them like, how did you like make mistakes? Like what were your biggest like FFs, right? And we just like talk on like one-to-one authentic communication, the things that we did, and it just really resonated to the young people. Like they're like, okay, like, I went to public school. Oh yeah, I did those things. If you go look at every comment, most of them will be like, oh damn, like I really resonate with this, like you guys like, I really like, there's a one comment I really like. This guy said like, oh, I saw this podcast, like I was just gonna look like what these two dudes are like yapping about, like he was like, he didn't have a good impression of us, right? But after he listened to the podcast, he's like, I'm gonna start changing my life. I'm like, that's the ultimate thing that we want to like.
Okay, so I am aware that Myanmar is facing a severe flooding in the region right now. And I know that Build Myanmar will be hosting a hackathon in support of this terrible event. So tell me more about it.
Yeah, so this is the monsoon season, and then Myanmar hasn't been the best actor to handle all these floods, right? And this year's has been particularly bad because of the typhoon, Since after 2012 we had those, it was really bad. Right now the country has been in a worse shape due to the conflicts, the war, and it's like another problem after a problem. So the people are suffering a lot. One thing about Myanmar people, we like to support. We like to support a lot. Like we like to donate. We like to like help in any way we can. We like to share our clothes, whatever it is. Like we like to really, really support. We have a lot of empathy. But what I observe is that even though we like to support, we don't know how to support. We just think like, oh, just donating, and it's all donating is the ultimate support, right? Mm-hmm. I think that has some truth in it. But like, how do you donate? Is your donation actually getting to the ground, or is it just like being cut off by the middleman? Like, there's so many nuanced questions that is left unanswered, right? And people don't want to like answer those questions because like they think like, oh, like this method, it's gonna be okay. Just donate. I think donation is a really big part. But we are doing this hackathon because we see like there could be so much more innovations in, for example, like a lot of the on-ground teams that are really like in the grounds, that helping like rescuing. The only way they can communicate through is like probably like Facebook groups, like Facebook Messenger, whatever. Those are not bad, but there could be so much more like innovations happening in like how they coordinate. Okay, one city has like extra supplies, but other cities need extra supply. Other cities like lacks of like supplies, right? But they don't know each other. They don't know how to coordinate, how to allocate resources. They have no clue. There should be like efficient systems and innovations in terms of like how these rescue operations talk to each other, how to rescue, like how to allocate resources. If people can see like, oh, what kind of places are actually flooding and not flooding, like, because like all we can do right now is like scroll on TikTok, scroll on Facebook, and then like we might be able to like analyze some information, right? But that's not enough at all. For the international community to get involved, for us to like just really like help and know what's going on, we need a real-time data first approach, innovations approach, right? So I just thought like, oh man, there's like so many inventions that need to be needed to solve these problems, and nobody want to, not that nobody want to do it. I know like some groups are really doing those, but they're very scattered, they're just technology builders. They're not connected with the actual rescue teams that are on the ground. So they don't know what the rescue teams actually need. They just like building things that no.
So let me ask a follow-up question just for it to be clear. So you're trying to are you bringing awareness to those resources, or you're creating the resources for it?
Both, I could say, like through this hackathon, I want to raise awareness that there's a very big opportunity or very big problem, also side problem, parallel problem that we need to solve as well. The hackathon will be giving out 1 million checks. 1 million checks, that's a lot, to the top 5 teams. So we're also like allocating resources for these teams to like efficiently start their startups, right? The answer is both. We're creating a ground where all teams come together, innovate, collaborate, and bring solutions that will have a real impact to that disaster right now, right? I aim to be this like a template model for every developing countries, because like I think about this a lot, like because people like to innovate, people like to build. There is so much more potential if we just talk each other and collaborate and build like together, because like we build like technology things, and then like your thing will be way better. It had input from the actual expert about about the weathers, about like how these rescue teams operate, but oftentimes we're so much isolated. So I want to like make a way to bring all these like together, and then just like have a way more 100x impact,
Okay, and people who want to participate, do they require to already have a good project, or what is required from a participant in order to take part?
Anyone, just come and build, like anyone, everybody is like open to participate. The only criteria we're gonna judge by is how much impact did your project had, right? Does the rescue teams really use it, or does the people really love your project? We're gonna just really judge it by how much impact your project had. If the project looks all fancy but no impact, we're not gonna choose you as a winner. Yeah. It's all about the impact, like how many lives did you save? Did your project save,
And how will be the projects being run?
The project is being run by my team. We're gonna do 2 physical events. The hackathon is gonna be from October 1st to 30th. Around this video is announced, like the people will already know about it. This hackathon is gonna be a start of like a way for communities to innovate. I'm guessing that like a lot of the participants are gonna be from the Build Myanmar community itself, because like Build Myanmar community, we got 2,000 plus members on Telegram, and most of them are experts. Most of them are UI UX designer. Most of them are web developers. So I imagine that this hackathons 90%, 80% will be from like participants will be from Build Myanmar community members. Yeah.
Okay, that's great to hear. Okay, so I'm already aware that some countries are doing very familiar projects and they're being very successful. For example, here in the United States, hackathons is a huge deal for all the college students across the country. So how are you planning to catch up with such a high standard here?
That's a really good question. Like you said, hackathons are not a new idea. It's not a new novel idea that I just came up with. It is an existing solutions to the problems that we currently face, right? The answer to your question just has to be like the quality of the participants, and bringing proper awareness to it. So education about like what kind of people we're looking for, what kind of projects should be brought from here, and will it have don't want it to be like a one-time show, I really want it to be like to bring awareness to people that might be like really like important in the future, like just like sustainable for the future. So yeah.
Okay, so what is the vision for the Build Myanmar community?
So right now, our community get only together monthly physical events. We have a very sticky virtual 2,000 plus members, right? But I really do think that in order for a community to really like collaborate each other and to let it grow together, I really do think there needs to be a physical space. The closest example I could give right now would be YMCA, right? YMCA is such a good thing. They basically like build a model where people could come together and grow each other, right? I want it to be a better version of YMCA. I want to build a better version of YMCA in Myanmar. So my current vision is establishing a Build Myanmar Community Center in Yangon, right? So this will have 2 approaches: the physical layer. So a lot of the problems that young people face, turns out just to be basic necessities. They don't have enough electricity, they don't have enough internet, their environment is not supported. Just basic things that we here in like fossil country take granted for, right? So like what we're hearing is like, no, I cannot come to the class today. I cannot learn this thing because my Wi-Fi is not coming in on. Like, oh, my parents don't want me to do this, because like, they don't understand what is AI, right? It's just so ridiculous things, right? So we're just thinking like, okay, what if we establish a physical center? Okay, what if we just like good Wi-Fi, good internet, give them desks, a place for come and work, come and study, right? And just like host them like workshops, regularly weekly host workshops, programs. What if we could just start with that? Like the amount of like people we could grow from that physical center will be astounding. The closest example I could give would like we want to grow 1,000 Steve Jobs from the community center, because like staying together with people who want to grow, like people who are like-minded about development, right? So in a classroom, there could be a 15-year-old tech developer. At the same classroom, there could be a 30-year-old farmer, right? And then like they could talk to each other, they could collaborate, and they could come up with a nice solution for the agriculture sector, right? Or startup. So that's the vision, and that's just a physical layer. What do I mean by software layer? I think there's just like so much potential in like digitizing the physical space. So what do I mean by that? So if we go look at Uber, if we go look at Airbnb, what did they do? They basically connected two physical objects with a software. That's it. That's the idea. They connected the people and then the car with a software. The Airbnb connected the homeowner and a guy who want to like stay there with a software. Nothing new. From there, like Uber had such impact and like changed how the way we transport, right? How the way we get taxi, right? The taxi industry basically like obliterated. They basically disappear. It's like they literally invented a new way of transportation. Like Airbnb, the same thing. Like you don't have to go to hotels anymore, and you could just get an Airbnb and then like just like have a way better experience, right? And I think like there should be the same for community centers as well. The example I always give is like we play GTA, right? When you play a GTA, you choose a character. Your character start with 0 points, 0 money or whatever it is, 0 credit. Okay, at the community center, the same thing. There's gonna be a community app. The member create an account and they start with 0 points. But once they accumulate points, how do they accumulate points? They go to the workshop. They volunteer in the community center. They do some research project. They help around the neighborhood with their elderly or whatever it is. Do some really good stuff that makes them grow, right? And once they do those, and then they can accumulate points. 1 point, 2 point, 5 points. I'm thinking like once they reach 100 points, then they can unlock some benefits. What kind of benefits? Partial funding for their scholarship, partial funding for their startups. Or if we can collaborate with a financial institution, then we could offer them like a small credit line. So it basically like a credit score, right? A better credit score, because that this student has been actually like hardworking. This member has been actually right on time, has been volunteering in the community center. You can basically go and look at like how did the member accumulate points, right? And you can know that this member is trustworthy. So there's just like so many things that could be built on top of it. Imagine we could connect with a member who got 1,000 points. We could connect with an international company standing talent, right? So we can offer them like, okay, here's 1,000 point talent. He's the top tier talent, and he's like a designer, he's gonna be like worthy, right? We just think like there could be like so much innovations in digitizing the physical space as well. So our approach is not gonna be just not just a physical center. It's gonna be a digital layer on top of it. That makes like the main idea was that young people often don't know where to start. They are often lost. So, but with this app or with this account, he knows that all the member needs to do is accumulate points. How does he accumulate points? Grow, research, go to classes, whatever it is. So there's only a way, like it's almost like a game, right? There's only a game, the path that he should take, and then like he will grow, and then he knows that he will like unlock those benefits. So that's the end. We want to like start with up at Yangon and want to get it in like Naypyidaw, the other cities, right? We want to like put like a lot of like franchises in every other city, and then we want to connect it with one digital layer. And there could be another form of like social media, just social network that is just like filled with this like-minded people, right? The young people who want to change the country, make the country better.
An amazing idea for people who want to innovate but don't have the opportunity.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that it is a safe place for anyone with bright ideas and anyone who wants to improve themselves and the country. What are you gonna offer in the workshops?
The workshops, we're thinking about bringing together the best experts, virtually or in person, and then like letting them really like do their thing, right? Doing case studies. The workshops are not just gonna be like educational workshops. It's gonna be physical workshops, like just like doing some yoga or learn some self-defense for the young females, right? Because like they face a lot of those problems. So it's gonna be really a holistic like workshops that teach about financial literacy, like what is investing, like how to handle a credit card, like what is compounding growth, or just talking about mental health, like so we're gonna be really way different from a traditional education system, we're just gonna be really focused on holistic growing a person. Yeah.
So it's not only focusing on one aspect of life, it's rather engaging everything that we consist of, improving in every aspect.
Yeah, just growing a person. It's basically growing a person through a software, and digital layer and physical layer.
Okay, so why do you believe that these community centers are in a huge need for Myanmar?
because we live in a very polarized world, everybody is like so polarized, so radicalized that nobody's want to agree with one another anymore, and especially in Myanmar, like we got very, very like high tensions, like in terms of religion, in terms of ethnicity, and I understand those things, but the oldest trick in the book is what? United we stand, divided we fall, like the more we divide, the more we cannot like grow at all, it's just as simple as that, if we want to grow, if we want to grow the country, if we want to make our standards of living better, simply we need to unite, we need to collaborate with other people, and then like we need to really think about how do we grow, right? How do we develop our infrastructure? How do we develop our technology? How do we catch up with other countries, right? Nothing just gonna happen by just like fighting one another, shouting one another, and just being divided, which I see a lot in Myanmar right now. So the vision with community center is like it's like ultimate glue within these different communities, right? Our community centers, it's like 40% female, and then like those all kinds of ethnicity, like literally all kinds of ethnicities are in the community center. So these young people, our Build Myanmar community is gonna be the glue to all of the tensions that's happening right now, because like this community center stands as a testament to like, okay, we can get along each other, and we can work with each other, even though we might have different views or different backgrounds, right? We can do this like that.
You talked about all the changes that you want to make, all the ideas that you have on how to improve the country, but let's talk about real things. How exactly do you plan to do it? Do you already have plans, there are resources to do it?
Well, the answer is yes and no, right? So no, in the sense that we need way more international support, or we need way more support from like people who watch this video, or just like any support we can to make this vision come true, right? But yes, in a way that we have had so many traction, like I said at the start of the video, our community member got 2,000 plus member right now. Our digital media site have been growing, and like we have been changing so many lives. So it's like both a yes and a no, right? But I'm kind of feeling hopeful, because of the world is changing too much in terms of technologies, like as we already see, like ChatGPT, AI models, and then the robots. I just saw yesterday a news about Elon Musk startup Neuralink. They just invented a device that can like cure blindness or whatever it is. I'm like, we're living in the times of a sci-fi movie, like everything can happen right now. We're going to the moons. There will be flying cars. The AIs are gonna be as good as a smart human. So one thing that people I see is that people just think from the old times. People just think in a traditional way. People don't get the input from the new things that's gonna happen, right? So for example, like during the 2000s, like people think that okay, they're just gonna use a bulky desktop computer forever, and that's the technology, right? They never once thought that there's gonna be a smartphone or a little device that's we're gonna use. Like they never once thought there's gonna be a new way to connect, which is social media. They never once thought the new things are gonna happen, and it's just gonna change totally how they communicate, how they work, right? So it's the same thing is happening with the AI agents. Like there's gonna be our community members are gonna be equipped with AI tutors, AI assistants, or AI lawyers, or whatever it is. Like these young people growing up. I will be so lucky to be a young people that's growing up right now. Because think about it. Traditionally, if a country want to like train the workforce or educate its children, what does it have to do? They have to train the teachers 5+ years, and they have to send the teachers to all the rural areas, and the teachers have to be good too, right? And the teachers have to train the kids 10 years, 20 years, 30+ years to effectively train the workforce. Right now, you can just send a Harvard level AI tutor into the kids' phone, and the kids can start learning at its pace for 3+ years, 4+ years. The kids will be extraordinary, So new times are coming, new changes are coming. I really think Myanmar has a really good shot at using technology to just leapfrog other countries, just leave it all up. Just forget about the old methodologies, how we used to do the old ways. Just think, how do we reinvent traditional education system, traditional government system? How we reinvent, like how do we communicate? How do we work with each other? How do we share things? Like we need to really think from first principles, like how do we do these things? And we can do that without fighting each other. And I think we have a really good shot at rebuilding Myanmar to be one of the Asian tigers.
Okay, that's very inspirational. I truly believe that it's gonna happen. Okay, Jin, thank you so much for such insightful conversation and for sharing so much stuff about Build Myanmar. It's been a year, and the differences I couldn't be even explained with the words. Thank you so much, guys. It's James today. I hope that you get involved and you take part of such a great change for Myanmar.